Today's topic was losing to the scales. Check out the intro video and stay tuned for the discussion.
Is it really possible to lose 30 pounds in just 5 days? Yes. Warning. This method of losing weight is not a sustainable approach and will not provide long-term results. The methods I'm about to share with you is dangerous and should not be attempted without supervision. So MMA fighters will do.
Hardest thing about boxing is making weight. It's the training, it's not that hard. The sparring, not that hard, but just making weight, that's the hardest thing for me personally. But
Fat, nigga, that's what you is.
I'm not fat.
Fat.
I'm not fat, boss.
That's fat.
It don't matter.
Yeah,
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Grab it again, son. Grab it
How I look
again.
at the weigh-in, though?
Grab it
How I look at the
again.
weigh-in?
We talking about
How I
now.
look at the weigh-in,
But you
though?
talking about how
But how I
big
look
you
at the weigh-in,
is. It's
though?
fat.
But how I look at the
Grab
weigh-in?
that.
How I look at the weigh-in?
Yeah.
I guarantee I'm a crush you.
Grab that.
All right, let me ask you a question.
Grab that. Don't try to go to the body. Don't try.
Hey everybody. So anybody would like to dive in to that first? Oh, better yet, before we start off, hey, thank you for joining my roundtable. And I would like everybody to go around and introduce themselves. I'll start first. I'm Coach Stokes, originally from upstate Rochester, New York. But, went to the Marine Corps and served a amount of time in the Marine Corps before retiring, then getting out. And now I'm just training my son and training anybody else because, as they say in boxing or any combat sport, you go from being an athlete to being a coach, and all we are is just boxing junkies. So I'm a boxing junkie like everybody else. With that being said, let me start off with Coach Gloria Peak. Go ahead, Coach Gloria Peak. Please announce yourself.
How's everybody? I'm Coach Gloria Peak. I've been in the boxing business now for about 40 years. First woman and, to my knowledge, the only woman ever to coach men on the Olympic level in the history of the Olympics.
Nice.
I've been coaching both men and females for a very long time. Very passionate about the sport. Worked with my boy Trout. I had to remind him he must be getting old at a young age. We had a great time at the camp. And, I've worked a little with pros. I love the amateur game, though. That's first and foremost with me. And anytime I feel coaches can come together and advance their knowledge, because I'm still learning after all these years. So it's a pleasure to be here at the round table with all of you guys.
Thank you, Coach. Coach Peak, you left out one thing. Who was one of your first athletes that you ever trained?
One of the first athletes? You.
Hey, all right. Thank you, Coach.
That's my son right there.
Hey, King Mo, would you please introduce yourself? It ain't like everybody don't know who you is, but please introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's King Mo. I go by the name Muhammad Lawal. That's my real name. I'm a multiple-time wrestling national champion, MMA champion. I've been competing in wrestling MMA since I was like 18 for wrestling, and I turned pro in MMA at 28. I've been in this game for a while, combat sports. So, I'm a student of the game. I feel like, and I'm always here willing to learn. And I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to take part in this discussion.
Thank you, King Mo. We've done this so many times, King Mo. So, I always can count on you. To my man, my brother, my light-skinned brother over in the UK, Coach Callinan. What's up, baby?
That's still really
Muted.
Oh.
You muted, my.
Hold on, Coach. Hold on. Sit on me. Sorry.
like you did at Peter Piper.
Coach, can you hear me?
You got Austin.
Hello.
All right, there you go, Coach. Go ahead.
There we go. So yeah, welcome from England. Currently coaching my son, Zachary Callinan. He's 7 years old, so just the beginning of his journey. Myself, I boxed from a young age, done some amateur MMA as well, but really enjoy the whole amateur boxing scene now and watching my son develop. So really good to join in at this time to discuss weight cutting, etc.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Coach. Coach Terry, my Marine Corps brother. Coach Terry, can you please let everybody know who you are?
All right, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
All right, yeah. I'm Terry Green. Split time between Memphis and El Paso. I'm currently in El Paso. I was a decent amateur, I guess. Now I've been coaching for about 10 years, mainly deal with kids, you know, a couple local pros, nothing big. But, you know, Austin's the homie. He's seen me work around here. And it's pretty cool. I never thought I'd be, you know, talking to people from around the world. You know, Coach Callinan, what's up? On the internet like this. This is cool. Y'all bear with me. I'm not real technically savvy. I noticed I was muted for a while at the beginning because I didn't know how to use this. So if my voice cuts out, it's my fault. My bad. But good to be on here with y'all.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Coach Green. And last but not least, my man, no doubt, Austin Trout. Austin Trout, would you please let everybody know who you are, brother?
Yeah, man, Austin, no doubt, Trout, former and future world champion. I still got a lot of fight in me. A lot of people that I could beat up for sure. Seeing about making a move down to 47, but that's another conversation. It's funny we're talking about weight because it's about to be a major subject for me right now. Yeah, so you know, I'm happy to be here. I thank you, Coach Stokes, for having me. You know, like Coach P said, you know, we trained at the Olympic training camp together. She was our coach, but we was whooping the Olympians. She could tell you. There's no reason any of the Olympians besides Ward and Darrell we all should have been in their spots.
Hey, thank you, lady. I mean, gentlemen and lady, Coach P. Hey, let's jump right into it. Today's topic is losing on the scales a lack of discipline on the athlete or an internal problem within a camp? So you know what? I want to jump to one of the athletes right fast. King Mo, can you please elaborate on that? What do you think, King Mo?
I think it's a little bit of everything. For one, it's cultural. It's a culture thing because in America, as a wrestler, everybody thought that being bigger was better. So if you look at MMA, for instance, Johnny Hendricks I used to coach Johnny Hendricks. He used to wrestle at 160 in high school. And he wrestled at 170 in high school as well. 171 in high school. Now in MMA, he fought at a lesser weight class as he got older than when he was in high school. You know, so that's that. You have to understand your body mass composition. You have to get scientific when it comes to cutting weight. Overseas in Europe and Japan, they don't cut weight. When I used to wrestle in Russia and I used to wrestle all these other people from Uzbekistan, they walked around at their weight class. They bumped up. That's what I'm doing. I fight at 205 in heavyweight, and I weigh 208 right now. I don't cut no weight. I feel like it weakens you. If you're an explosive athlete, it drains you. If you're an endurance athlete, it cuts back on your endurance, man. I feel like a lot of these fighters need to get scientific with their team and figure out the right weight class that they should go to. You have to get DEXA scan, get body fat composition testing done, and get a nutritionist.
Coach Jeremel Sims just chimed in. I can't hear you, brother. You might have to come back in. You know, get off and come back on. Come back in. Okay, Coach. Coach P. Go ahead.
Okay. You know, I agree with him to a certain extent. That's later in the game, but in the beginning, you know, when you're young and you're coming up, you have to learn, you know, about your body, how to lose weight, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. So in the beginning, I put the onus on the coach to be responsible because that's where you begin to educate the athlete, to teach the athlete about how to lose weight, the importance of, you know, paying attention to their body, how they feel when they lose weight, how they feel when they gain weight, you know, what works the best for them, how to, you know, how to begin to lose that weight within a safe time frame so that they're not weak. When they lose the weight, they're still strong enough to go on. So in the beginning, I think it's more on the coach, the coach's responsibility, because the athlete is still in the beginning stages. They don't know, they're learning. But as they get older, you get up to more like the elite level. By that time, you know, I should have taught you enough about weight loss, where you're at,
How you tap into that thing?
Your body, and going on so that weight loss does not become a major issue later on.
Coach, let me ask you this. And you saying, because all right, I did. Hey, so this is what I want to ask you. Were you young at that level, and Coach Terry, and Coach Callinan, and Coach Sims will vouch for this. But when you are young, you definitely got to hand carry him, walk him. You got to do everything. But then it comes to a certain point in time where you get an athlete where you really decide, if I really want to deal with this motherfucker, excuse my language, do I really want to work with him? Because he's going to be a headache. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody, and I tell my wife all the time, you might have somebody that's badass in the ring, but outside he is a problem. I gotta walk him to the water fountain, because I know if I don't do that, he gonna be drinking booze or whatever the case may be. How do you handle those type of individuals, or do you cut them off from the gate, from the jump?
Well, I usually will try to give them an opportunity to make the changes necessary. But if I see that no matter what I do, I put you to bed a pound under, then you wake up that morning, we hit the scales, you 2 pounds over. There's nothing you can tell me. There's nothing you can tell me that will justify the fact that you went to bed underweight and now you're overweight. Okay, now I know it's time to cut you loose, especially if I can't get you to understand and take on the responsibility. That also tells me you're not serious. You know, I need somebody who's serious, who's a dog, who will do whatever it takes to win that fight. So if it means they need to watch what they eat, how they eat, what they put in their body, and things like that, I don't have to stand over you to make you do that. You're going to want to do that on your own, no matter what. And if not, no, man, I'll give you a badminton racket and tell you to join the team down the street, okay? Because that's where you need to be.
Okay. Coach Javed Sims, what's going on? Coach Javed Sims just joined us, everybody. Coach Javed Sims, we're talking right now about weight loss. Is it an issue, or is it an issue for the fighter, or is it an issue for the camp, or is it both? Would you please introduce yourself to the panel and then chime in on that, sir?
Absolutely. First off, what's going on to all the coaches and all the former world champions and future world champions on here? I'm Javed Sims, and I'm pretty much, I am Kingdom Fitness. I have a slew of fighters. I have about 5 or 6 amateur fighters, along with one of the best professionals in Cleveland. To answer your question, or just to address what you said, to be honest with you, it's a problem with both. Just to get down to the root of it, I don't train fighters unless they have a father. That's first off, and then the father got to be influential, and he got to be willing to coach. Reason being is because I understand that the root of the problem is not the kid. It's the parents and the school system. So with that being said, if they lack discipline, yeah, you might have a good backing, but 9 times out of 10, it's the parent. So it's bad for the camp, and it's bad for the fighter in general. I have a fighter right now that's an amateur, and I told him, you know, he walk around at 60, 55, and he amateur. I can't, but he got a frame of a 40, 35, 30 pounder. So with that being said, I told him, you can't fight under me unless he at 40, 35. If you want to fight real bad, or if you want to fight under me, then you got to be at that weight, period. And then also, my professional fighter, Tanner doesn't let me say it like this. I want to say it the wrong way. I'd rather him get down and slowly but surely get down to his weight each week. Now he's starting to come into the understanding of it. But a lot of these Cleveland fighters like to get down the night before. They want to be on. They got this thing where they say they right on pace or whatever. No, you get down early and stay down and feel comfortable at that weight, and then it won't be a problem. You know. But you got these older fighters, or not older fighters. You got these new age fighters that want to take it slow. I'm not sure what the champion Austin Trout do, but
I take it
in
slow.
my camp, you take it slow.
Yeah, I take it slow. I can't do that where I take it off at the last minute because you know you start burning muscle and burning things that you need.
Exactly.
When I take it slow, it's it's fat, it's water, it's stuff it's all the trash I don't need. Maybe at the end it might be cutting into it, but not so much as if you just do a crash diet. So yeah, I try to take it.
Austin, so you know Montana then, Austin. You should be talking to Montana.
I know Montana.
Austin,
you be smacking him upside his head.
I want to ask you this, Austin.
Yeah.
When do you realize it becomes serious when you are losing weight? When does it become serious at that point? When do you realize, like, you know, I can't do this no more? I can't lie to myself or my coach. I gotta go up in weight class.
Well, you know, like I've been at this weight since amateurs, but I've been able to make weight easier now at 33 than I was at 26, and it's just the discipline in between the fights. You know, I used to get up close to 190, then try to drop it, you know, within 2 months, and you suffer more like that. So I try not to let myself get too high and get too sloppy, whereas I don't have to drop to 30, 40 pounds. It's only maybe 20 in the 2 months. And I figured this out probably a good like 5-6 years ago. I was killing myself to make weight for a bum fight. It wasn't even worth nothing, but you know what I'm saying? I killed myself to make weight for an easy fight, making it hard on myself. And so I kind of just try to get a little more discipline. You know, my wife, she cooks for me. That helps. Eating out is no good for you, man. And but like I said before, I'm thinking since I am making weight fairly easy now, let's see what I could do, you know, 6 pounds down south. And, you know, if I can feel strong still at that weight, and of course I'm going to take it down real slow. I'm going to do it early just to see what it's like. And if I can make that weight, man, I'm telling you, I'm going to be about 6-7 time world champion. I'm beating up everybody at 47. Most definitely. Floyd's going to have to come back out of retirement to deal with me.
I love that. Hold on for a second. Hold on. King Mo, hold on. I want to get to the other coaches. Coach Green, could you please expand on that?
Well, I think it could be a problem for both based on the age experience of the athlete. You got kids. When I was a kid, I ate what my mama cooked. And if I didn't eat what she cooked, I didn't eat, you know. And then you being in the Marine Corps, you know, you're 18. That's the first time you're in control of what you put in your body completely.
Right.
So you got options. You got fast food. You got chow hall. Chow hall is the better option. They got nutritional standards. They have, unfortunately, flavor is not one of them. But then you got to
it was terrible.
Experiment with what you put in your body, how you cutting weight. I had some experiments where, I was making weight, but it wasn't healthy. I've tried it all. Laxatives, you know, sauna, draining myself when I didn't have to. And then later on, I went to college, studied kinesiology, understood there's a difference between being in shape and being on weight. Them two totally different things, even though they go together.
Mm-hmm.
You show up to camp overweight, you lose valuable time getting in shape. You lose valuable time working on skills because you're busy dropping pounds.
Right.
Yeah, so you lose valuable time there. Now, as a parent coach, I'm in control of the diet. You know, you eat what I tell you. You know, now there's a local pro, Austin might know him. We did some couple fights with him, and it was a good move for my career to be around him with him. And didn't really have any food discipline, any liquid discipline, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And there's fights he could have won, where he lost it at the scale. You know, you see him get on the scale, his eyes are sunk in the back of his head. You know, he get in the ring, a guy he should have been able to just rough up, beat up. He gets stopped by because he could barely move. You know, it takes like 72 hours to get rehydrate. You trying to put all that water back in your system overnight. This is just floating around in your stomach. It's not good for you. So I seen, you know, both ends personally and as a coach where, you know, you could have won a fight, but you live wrong. So it all comes down to like healthy choices. So as a kid, you know, the coach makes your choices. Your mom and dad make your choices. You know, when you become an adult, time to have some discipline, some adult responsibility over your food intake, your liquid intake. You J.C. Davis, you know, condition is the food you eat, the friends you keep, the hours you sleep type thing.
Yes, sir.
You know, as an adult, it's on you. As a professional, it's definitely on you. It's your career. That's how you put food on your table, you know, put dollars in your bank account. It's all on you. You know, even if you got a lazy camp, it's on you to shake up your camp and get somebody else. It's on you. So as you know, as a kid, it's parents, the adults, the people responsible as adult. It's all on you.
So let me ask you this. Thank you, Coach. Coach Callinan, can you hear me?
I can. Yep.
Hey, so I want to ask you this then. If you cannot be disciplined as a professional in what you eat and how you live, will you make it as a professional?
It's been really interesting listening to everyone's perspective because we've all talked from different angles. We've had like the amateur background and the professional background, and there's different pressures on different fighters. And with those pressures, there's different consequences. In the amateur game, if you miss weight, you're not fighting. That's it. There's no 20% deduction. You're just going home. You're going to be seen as a failure instantly. At the senior level, you might lose 20% of your purse. You could go on to win the fight, and everyone will forget the weight cut after you've won the fight. That's fine. So the consequences is a massive part of the weight cutting. What I've seen from the amateur level, and it's a growing culture, there's an aesthetic element to it where you need to look good when you make weight. And people are doing some crazy stuff to get this bodybuilder image, and it's not helping them win fights. I've seen people, like Coach Terry says, they're fatigued, they're knackered, but they're happy with the six-pack and they're flexing on the scales, and they'll say, oh, I've had my nuts and my berries and I've had my little bit of water and I'm ready to go. And the focus isn't on the fight. The focus is on making weight and looking good. And that's completely wrong. I guess as a coach and as a fighter, you need to be aligned on what the aim of the game is. Are you looking to sell a few tickets for one fight, or are you looking to go all the way and have a long career where you're healthy? And maybe near the end of your career, the weight cut becomes something that you're more focused on because you need that slight gain. But until you've ticked all the boxes, the fitness, the stamina, the technical stuff that Coach Terry mentioned and the other guys mentioned, until you've ticked all that, the weight cutting isn't even a factor. If you haven't got everything else in place, don't even worry about 2 pounds or 3 pounds. You've probably lost 20% in technique. You've probably lost, more fights are lost on fitness than are on 4 or 5 pounds of somebody leaning on you. So I think the weight cut in the media and the culture of sport and combat sports is overcome a lot of things. But when it became a factor, and Coach Mo will probably stand for this, in the wrestling, all the other boxes were ticked. The technique was there, the strength was there, all the other elements were there, and it came down to 3 or 4 pounds of having that advantage over somebody. But now, these days, we've gone in reverse. We've gone for the weight cut first and all the other stuff second. So it's a real strange paradigm that we've got at the moment, where the weight cut is a big feature. But really, it should be the last thing to be taken care of. So that's just my thoughts on it.
There was do you remember the video? Everybody, do you remember the video that I started off with? You missed it, Coach Stokes, but I had a video when it came to people missing and not making weight. The gentleman in the very beginning that could hardly stand up, they had to hold him so he can get on the scale, and he could not make it. I don't understand how they even let it get to that part, man. Because if you cannot stand on your own 2 feet, you can't fight. So that makes me this is my question to you guys. What type of camp did he have? Was that somebody that was in his corner for that time being? Was that his camp? If that was his camp, how in the hell did he stay with those guys? Because that's automatically telling me if I'm about to die, then you don't care about anything that's going on in my life. You understand what I'm saying? So who like to be the first to chime in on that?
I got it. I'm familiar. The guy fighting Pancrase in Japan, I believe he's Brazilian. The problem in MMA, even the American Top Team, my gym I'm at, we had guys missing weight all the time. In Brazil, they don't know how to cut weight. In America, people miss weight. But now the new trend isn't cutting weight. The new trend is moving up. If you look at the world championship in wrestling, there's a guy named Sudalayev, Abdul Rashid Sudalayev. He bumped up a weight class, became a world champion. You look at everybody moving up. George Masvidal moved up. Dustin Poirier moved up. They're all MMA fighters. Look, Canelo moved up. Now, there's only one exception I can think of in modern times that a person moved down and became a champion. Robert Brandt beat Murata 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was a 168, moved down to 160 in his rightful weight class. Other than that, the guys you see moving down in weight are getting beat. Now the new trend everywhere in all these sports, MMA and wrestling, even boxing, is guys moving up and feeling good. Andre Ward moved up, still performed. You know, it's not really about being bigger. It's about performing well and staying true to your technique while you're under fire. When you're cutting weight, dehydrated, depleted, that does not happen. You could do that for short term, but when you get into deeper waters later on in the match or the fight, you will get stopped or you will get hurt.
Let me ask you this, King Mo. You have so many cookie cutters when you talk about cookie cutters when I'm talking about trainers that will just be a word man and say, yeah, you're doing great. Are those cookie cutters that allow that shit to go on, King Mo, when it comes to the weight and everything?
Well, a lot of those people, there's a problem, like, you know, with these coaches. Like everyone on this panel is an official coach. But now you got guys in Brazil, they see what Americans are doing, and they see, oh, these Americans are losing 30 pounds and making weight. You can do it too. So you're a 155-pounder. You cut 30 pounds and make 125. It's not going to happen. But yet you see people in a lot of other countries where the education system, when it comes to nutrition and training, isn't as high. That's what you start to see. Like, you know, if you're noticing now, people are moving up. Cutting weight is dying down. People are moving up. Think about this: Tarver, Roy Jones. What they have in common? Oh, Chris Bird. What they have in common? They all cut down and got beat. They all went down and got beat. You can only cut weight for so long. Really, the best bet is to feel good, go up, and improve get bigger, stronger, and faster. Don't go down and be weaker, just be bigger. No, go up and become bigger, stronger, faster, and be able to fight for 36 minutes. Right. Because some guys, when they cut weight, they can only fight for about 12 minutes. Well, if you go up and you're feeling good and you're focused on building and learning your technique and adding on your technique, you can go for 36 minutes or longer.
Got you. Thank you, King Mo. Coach Peak, would you like to talk on that?
Yeah, I have seen that trend he's talking about, about going up. Some athletes show up because they've been cutting weight too long. They cut and stay at a weight below their natural weight. Your body has a natural weight in which it functions optimally at. Okay? And if you keep cutting weight, you're not only hurting your performance, it also hurts the organs. You know, that you're depriving them of the right nutrition, the right fluids and things like that. So, you know, the boxer hurts themselves. And coaches that don't know any better, because when you were, say, 3 years younger, you fought, let's say, at 112 or 115, and so you did really well. And then that coach wants to hold you at 115 because they feel if they let you go up, you won't be able to fight as well, and you won't be able to maintain that winning, road that you're on. But they're not thinking about the athlete. They're thinking about themselves and how it makes them look. Screw that. You know, if you're in the sport, you should care about your athlete. I care about my athletes, okay? My athletes are like family to me. So I'm not going to hurt my athlete by having them, cut weight, just to keep them down because they were fighting better at that particular weight class. Right. You've got to be able to to know the athlete, read the signs, know when they need to go up. You know, sometimes they want to stay down, and I'll say, no, you need to go to the next weight class. And they'll say, I'll feel sluggish. No, boy, you're taking your butt up to the next weight class, because this is not going to work. You know, I'm not going to spend 8 hours in here trying to get weight off of you when I know your body's saying, I'm not there. You need to let me go ahead and progress naturally.
Got you.
So that's where I am. But at the same time, too, let me say this. Sometimes athletes who are lazy and who like to eat. Now, I'll use one of my athletes, for example, that I was coaching that's now fighting for USA Boxing, and that's Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis is ranked #1 in the country at 132 pounds. But let me tell you, Keyshawn, I started him when he was 8. Keyshawn loved to eat. He loved to eat. That boy would eat anything that wasn't nailed down. And because he did that, his weight was always fluctuating. And his thing was, when it came time to fight, his thing was, Coach, I just go up to the next weight class. I know I can beat him. Yeah, I know you can beat him too, but we're not just going to jump weight classes because you're lazy, okay? If your body is still saying, I can function here, this is where we need to be. And these are the things that we need to look at to see if you need to move up or you need to stay where you're at, you know? So sometimes he did it because he was lazy and he didn't want to lose the weight. And I think that that's something, I forget the other coach's name when he talked about, he said, the fathers needed to be involved and, they needed to work with them and work with them on weight. I agree that parents need to be involved. And when I involved his mom and got involved with how she was cooking, what she was feeding, the nutritional things and stuff like that, it took us to a whole new level. And it took him to a whole new level of being able to maintain his weight and know when to move up in weight and how to stay there and how to eat healthy, how to eat so that it would increase his performance, not deplete his performance.
Understood. Got you. Thank you, Coach P. Coach Jermel, so I want to ask you this.
Sir.
What is the most what's the best way for a trainer or a coach to implement bringing in the kids' parents so they can be along with the ride, so that they know what's going on? What's the best way? Could you implement a good way of living? I don't want to say diet because I hate the word diet. DIET. Yeah. That's diet. What's the first 3 letters? Die. So what's the best way that they can live a healthy life?
Well, to answer your first question, me personally, I'm like, the way people get in touch with me is through Instagram. So I screen them on Instagram, or I screen them when they walk in the door, because in my gym, I have other coaches that's right, like not under me, but coaches that do their own thing. So I'm saying that to say, I'll tell them that y'all can come in, right? If y'all don't have a father or a mother or whatever the case may be, y'all can come in and get trained by them, and I'll share some of my experiences. But I screen them at the door. Where your mother? Where your father? How, what's this? What's that? This, that, and the third. And if they don't answer the questions right, it's over with. I'm not training you at all. And that's just me being honest, But I have 6, 7 top amateurs in not only in the city, but the country right now, the nation right now. So I just focus on them right now. But to implement that clean eating, I've been studying it for a short while, and my mother is actually holistic. She cures some a few diseases, if you will, But I'm saying that to say, I educate them as much as I can. Like the fighter that I had that was having issues with his weight, he'll lose to the scale and lose to that spoon. Man, he ain't losing to nobody else, but he'll lose to the scale. And I would just educate them as far as homeostasis, how your organs work. How the mucous membrane around your organs work, and how the anatomy is in general. And then once he gives them that root understanding, once he lock that in, he's conscious and old enough to understand that. Once I lock that in, no, not with him, but once I lock that in with my younger fighters, man, they instantly they go forth with it. Like I honestly, the Mason brothers, man, their father did a great job with them. I was blessed to even get them, you know what I mean? But That's how I know that was probably generalized as hell and kind of broad, but I screened them to answer the first question. The second question is I must know about that. I guess that's my answer for the second question. I had to do my own thing. That's my due diligence as a coach. I can teach you how to box all day long, but boxing is life, like in real life. Like you got to stay patient in terrible situations. A wise man is understands his clean eating, right? He's a successful man is not going to just put anything in his mouth, right? So life is just like boxing. So I guess that's my answer to that. That second question is I educate myself. I do my due diligence, and I'm always learning. Do. Hey, did you know this? Did you know if you eat this meat, yeah, you get amino acids, but you also get lactate, carbonic, and uric acids, and all three in which cause cancer. The amino acids you can find in any micronutrient. Okay, the micronutrients are the vegetables. You can find it. And then, as a matter of fact, if you don't believe in that protein thing, a whole 80% protein, we gotta have carbs, and majority of your carbs come from the macronutrients, which are fruits anyway. So that's your body's main source of energy. So you don't necessarily need the meat. And then that'll cut a lot of pounds too with my fighters.
Got you. Thanks, Coach. Good looking out. Hey, no doubt. I want to ask you the same thing. How did you even deal with that in the amateurs, and then how did it change when you became a pro?
Well, in the amateurs, you weigh in every day that you fight. So if you fight 5 times, you got to weigh in every 5 times. Whereas the pros, you weigh in the day before you fight, and a lot of guys went down in weight when they turned pro, and I kind of stayed there because I was having a hard time as it was making weight back then. So what happened was between fights, I wasn't disciplined. I was eating whatever I wanted, wasn't on the schedule, nothing like that. So I would gain a lot of unhealthy weight in between fights. Once I started tightening up on the discipline in between the fights, I found myself making weight, a bit easier, whereas I wasn't dying or killing myself to make the weight like I was before. It was a little bit more tolerable. And then the more discipline, it was like, okay, this is not too bad. The last few days before the weigh-in still sucked, but I'm not completely miserable. So the correlation I got was what I did in between the fights, because before a fight, I'm like a monk. I eat well, I train well, I'm all for it. But it was in between the fights that I was not getting the right amount of sleep and things like that was really affected the healthy weight that I was gaining or losing. So it's all like you said, it's the discipline. These kids got to figure out what their body needs and how their body needs it, and then they got to give it to them. I've been working on this intermittent fasting where I don't eat for 16 hours, and then 8 hours in the day is when I get all my nutrients in. And even that in itself, just being on that schedule has helped me out with just not getting so big. Like I said, I don't get as high as I used to, and I'm sure if I tried, I could, but it's easier now. I'm naturally not getting as big as I used to.
Austin, do you have a team that helps you with that, or did you just do it yourself?
Well, I had a team, but after so long of doing this, I know more about my body nutrition-wise than they do. So in the beginning, yes, I did have, my coach was on me. He made me jump on the scale, every day after practice, before and after, to see how much I was losing in practice. In the morning, he's there with the scale. He should know that. He don't have to do that no more. In fact, he just check in. How's your weight? It's good. I'm on schedule. What are you doing right now? So maybe I'll tell you right now. You don't have to do that much checking as it is because I'm on. I've never been beat by the scale, and I don't plan on it.
Got you. So he actually is a relationship, as we all know in boxing. So he actually studies you, and he knows your body. Coach
like
Green, right? Yeah. Coach Green, you're teaching, different amateurs, but you have that bond. You teaching your son, man. Big ups to him. Great job that you're doing with him. As a matter of fact, how are you doing that with little Terry?
It's weird with him. I just so happen to have the son that should be the boy in the bubble. He's allergic to everything.
Damn.
So I had to learn what he could and could not eat just to prevent anaphylaxis. He has to have an EpiPen everywhere he goes.
Wow.
Type thing. So I had to learn things like, you know, what his favorite thing in the world, peanut butter, allergic to peanuts. You know what I mean? So I had to find alternatives, you know. And then he's a finicky. He just don't like certain. He's one of them kids. I don't like that. You ain't never ate it, you know. But he don't like it, you know. So yeah, it's just kids, man. So it's just being dad, I guess. Also, I had a strict mom. Hey, you eat what I made, or don't eat. And then when you want to eat tomorrow, it's still in the refrigerator. Throw it in the microwave and eat it. So he's just kind of learning, hey, let me just do what my dad says. It just prevents a lot of trouble.
Mama. We had the same mama.
Yeah, we right.
For real. Straight up.
The other thing is, he's just like any other kid. He wants to eat candy. You know, they eat with their eyes. It's colorful. Let me go over there. Let me, you know, try that. You know, it's just being a parent, looking after your kid. You know, making sure your kid's okay. The rest of the work we do in the gym, we do on the track. Hey, just be in shape. Eat when I tell you to eat. Drink water, you know.
Water only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recognize Gatorade is not water.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Juice is not water. Yeah. You know, if nobody's ever read the serving size on a Gatorade bottle, it's literally about the size of one of those little green cups they have. You know, it's just potassium and sodium with Kool-Aid mix. You know, it's, you know, but it's colorful. The commercials promote, you know, it's almost like a healthy beverage, but it's not. They see the commercials for the foods and the candies, and you gotta, you know, you can have a little Halloween candy here and there, but eat this food. You know, the kids, their problem is snacking.
Yeah.
Snacking is its problem. You know, it started out where, and then grandmas are kids' problems too. Grandmas are kids' problems. Grandmas give them anything they want, but the other thing is microwavable foods, especially if you work all day and you come home. You know, you want your kids to eat when they come home from school, especially if they come home before you get off of work. You know, here's some Tostitos pizza rolls, here's some Hot Pockets. You know, that's fast. You know, so what you gotta do is cook. You know, you ain't gotta be world-class chef. You just gotta cook. You know. Cook vegetables, you know. I think it's just a man thing. I eat meat. No, man, eat vegetables. You know what I mean? When my daddy say, eat the greens, it makes your boo-boo slide out. You know, it helps you out. You're not backed up. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just cook a little bit. I wouldn't call it meal prepping. You know what I mean? We just called it leftovers. You know. Cook, put it in the refrigerator. When you come home, throw this in the microwave for 2 minutes, eat it, you know.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Meal replacement is a fancy word for saying leftovers.
Leftovers.
Straight up.
So, yeah, make a little bit of food the night before. You know, you ain't got to make it for the whole week. Make it for a day or two. Put it in the refrigerator. Tell them, hey, heat this up in the microwave. I'll be home 30 minutes after you get home from school. Then we go to the gym, cook dinner, you know. Breakfast, he's hard to wake up, so we're always running late, you know. But now at the El Paso School District, when they get in class, they have to feed every student, whether they're on free lunch or anything. So I don't know what he's getting, but I know he's getting a breakfast. And then I started teaching last year, then I discovered what they're getting is terrible. So hey, take this piece of fruit with you, you know. So just kind of just being I don't want to say good dad, but being an involved parent is just how I make sure he's eating well.
You got to be aware and involved, brother. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Coach Green. Coach Callinan.
Hello.
Hey, you're in the UK, so things are different. I know when I talked to you and I interviewed you, there's a certain age that kids can't even go into a gym. They have to be a certain age, I mean, right? They can't step into a gym until they, what age?
Roughly 9 years old, yeah, and then start competing at 10 for boxing.
Okay, so you have a son that's a biathlete. I mean, he does numerous amount of things. What is it that you do for him exactly?
So very much like Coach Terry was saying, I mean, water is the key thing, fruit, vegetables, right amount of protein, carbohydrates. We've recently introduced protein shakes, but they're a lower concentrate than sort of the adult ones. So we'll see how they go, but at the moment they're helping him out quite a bit. They help at the speed of things. So in the morning, if he does a track session, he can have one of them plus a light breakfast before school or something. But we save it for excessive training days. So if he's doing quite a lot, then it's like looking at how many calories you've burned on the exercise you've done. It's easier to do when you're measuring track distance and stuff. But I mean, kids are meant to have 1,500 calories a day or something, but you need to make sure they've got the basics in place first before you add any of those sort of supplements to it. So he's getting everything he should have plus that on top, which just substitutes what he's burnt off during training, basically. But yeah, really minimal sort of snacks. I think you mentioned Halloween snacks. That's about it, really.
Okay, this is a question for everybody. I want you guys to ponder, and I'm gonna go around. As coaches, do you teach your families the risk of poor nutrition and how it affects growth, focus, and retention, mood, and etc.? So, I mean, I'm not just talking about for your athletes, but when you come home as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Man, my family eats good. If I'm eating good, they gotta eat good. The more I learn about how shitty food is, the more I try to, get closer to that organic and homegrown. Just the shift in mind state, because food ain't nutritious like it used to be.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Nope.
Go ahead, Coach Pete.
No, I agree with Austin. I mean, it's not as nutritious. One of the hardest things for me, I know as a coach, when we would travel to shows, the hardest thing is to find a place where I could take the kids to eat that would have halfway decent food and a variety. Okay, like of course, after the kids want to stop at Burger King and McDonald's and all of that, and I tried to start teaching them as I learned that stuff was not good for you. That stuff was going to kill you. And so, started forcing them to go. We would go to places like Golden Corral or someplace that would have a variety of food where they'd have salads and vegetables and things like that. And, I thought the kids were going to mutiny, man. They wanted to kill me. But the thing was, I was driving, so I had to I'll leave you out in West Heaven if you don't get off this van and go in there and get something to eat. Well, it took a while before they began to understand that, I wasn't being mean. They needed to eat more healthy, and that was the important thing. So, I've learned over the years about nutrition for myself, for them. I share with them. I share with family because I meet with family members, and those are some of the things we talk about, especially those family members who are very involved in their sons or their daughters, progress and want to see them do well. They're very receptive to, trying something new and learning about nutrition to help better their child's performance. So yeah, that's very important.
Thank you, Coach Pete. King Mo, I got a question for you. So is boxing, or better yet, combat sports, at a competitive level, an individual thing or family or team thing?
Well, as far as training is concerned, it's both. Actually, overall, it's all together. It's all together because a lot of times, if you're close enough to your team, that's your family as well. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when it comes to nutrition, I'm gonna go back. Austin said something that food ain't as nutritious as it used to be. I think food still is nutritious, but the thing is, the options of the food to buy or the food to get isn't as good as it used to be. For the main reason, I remember when I was young, my mom used to slaughter, because I grew up in a Muslim household, so she used to slaughter her own meat. We used to go to the farm, she used to do the ritual, slaughter her own meat, right? It was cheaper back in the 80s to get organic food. Organic was nothing. Organic was just there wasn't even a word back then. Right. The grocery store was more expensive to shop at. Now, fast forward to the modern times, it's switched. McDonald's is cheap. The unhealthy foods are cheaper to get. The healthier foods are harder to get and they're more expensive. For what reason? If anything, it should be more expensive to make the unhealthy food. And the organic food should be cheaper to make, but for some reason it's switched. And now poor people are eating unhealthy food because it's cheap, and the rich people are buying up all the organic food because it costs more. Right. That's what's really changed. That's what's really changed. You see that mainly in Black and brown areas. You see churches, you see Popeyes everywhere. You don't see all fast food restaurants, and you don't see no Whole Foods, no Trader Joe's, no Wild Oats. You see fast food restaurants, and that's the main issue I see.
You think it's because of the serving sizes?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I think it's the serving sizes. I think that the prices went up. I feel like they tax the healthy food costs a lot more. Think about this: diet food or healthy food is probably twice as expensive as junk food. You can go buy some Pringles for 99 cents or $1.19. One apple might cost the same amount, or might cost like 89 cents. So you mean tell me a pack of Pringles is that much cheaper compared to one whole apple?
You can eat a whole pack of Pringles.
Yeah, you can eat a whole pack of Pringles. Thanks, King Mo. Hey, I got to talk to you. Hey, Coach Jermel. Coach Jermel, can you hear me?
What's up, Coach?
Hey,
yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you chime in on that?
Yeah, real quick, right? It's an easy breakdown. I'm gonna give you a real quick insight on it, right? So this is based upon my studies, okay? Every organ in your body has its own pH level, all right? Especially your intestines, right? Your gut. Your gut is your brain. It's the same thing. Your gut and your brain is the same thing as what you look alike, right? Now watch this. When you create an acidic environment in your body, meaning you eat the wrong foods and your blood is toxic and polluted with the poisons, right? Then what happens is the mucous membrane around your organs begins to create too much mucus. Yeah. And according to Dr. Sabi and too many other people and other holistic or naturopathic doctors, according to them, that's the only disease on this planet. So what happens is the mucus.
You said Dr. Sabi. They killed him. They killed Dr. Sabi.
They killed my man.
My bad,
absolutely. Dr. Sabi. I'm sorry. No, it's okay. And a slew of other naturopathic doctors. My mother is one. So I'm saying that to say the purpose for the mucous membrane around each one of your organs is for your body to create the mucus to capture the pathogens, which is bacteria and viruses, and dispel of it. This is why you chew and spit it out, or it comes through the anal. So what I'm saying is when you create an acidic environment in your body, your organs are not at homeostasis. So what that means is your red blood cells is no longer delivering oxygen from one organ to the next. They're clumped together. Your white blood cells are supposed to do what the mucous membrane does and attack the pathogens and send them out and dispel of them. But then they're paralyzed, so they can't do that. So with that being said, mucus is the only disease on this planet. The word it's two words of disease. It's equivalent to discomfort. Dis meaning can't be found, D-I-S, and E-A-S-E, dis-ease. Dis and ease, meaning you can't find ease in your body. So when you have a disease called asthma, that just means that you have dis-ease in your lungs. If you have bronchitis, it just means that you have dis-ease in your bronchial tubes, all because of what you eat. So it goes deeper than the weight going up and down and being healthy or having nice nutrition. Too many times today in America, we live to eat opposed to eat to live. See, we eat to get that satisfaction opposed to eating for that particular nutrition. So once you create, and everything is about balance. Once you create, am I saying just leave the meat alone? Well, you should, but once a month won't hurt you because too much alkalinity can hurt you as well. So with that being said, when you create that alkaline-based environment in your body, then your body works at homeostasis. The word homeostasis just means the regular function of the organs. And your organs can't work right, and you can't lose no weight if you create an acidic environment in your body.
Thank you for dropping that jewel. I appreciate that. Coach P.
Yes.
I want to ask you this. you as an elite coach, because you're the only one on the panel that's been so far yet. I know these other brothers, you know, Coach Jermel, Coach Green are on their way of being on the Olympic team. I want to ask you this: how are athletes educated on nutrition and the lifelong effects of of not living properly, at the USO's TC?
Well, they've started over the last few years, becoming more serious about trying to educate the athletes. I know, like, for example, in the dining hall, if you go into the dining hall to eat, everything is labeled. Everything is labeled as far as, the carbs, the amount of calories, and some of the other ones are broken down as to exactly what's in them because of the variety of athletes they have there. They have to know exactly what they're putting in their body. Okay. They have a whole department of nutritionalists that, work with any department there, whether it's the volleyball teams, the boxing, the basketball, whatever. They'll work with those teams. The coaches might have, say, well, my particular athlete, I have an athlete who's having problems, with weight, or, they're feeling bad because every time they eat something, their stomach is upset. So, they'll bring in nutritionists that will work with that particular athlete and go over what they're eating, how much they're eating from A to Z, and put them on a plan to help address whatever the issue is. As well as they have the doctors there who also make sure that they're not having any major problems with particular organs and stuff like that. So they are, and have been for a little while, and they're getting better at educating athletes on how they should eat, what they should eat, and in relationship to their training schedule as well. Okay. So, it's been improving over the years.
Yeah. I know the times that I went to U.S. Nationals and even on USA Duels, it was very very little that they told us. I mean, it was like they gave you a class, and the class was just very, very, very basic. But majority of the time, guys was just eating whatever they wanted to eat.
Well,
it's what it was.
Yeah, but now things have changed in relationship to now. Yeah. They have a national team that lives at the facility in Colorado. So therefore, they're investing more in that team. Right. Now, if you go to a national tournament, you're not going to get that same kind of information. They don't have the time to put in to letting all the athletes know what they should eat. Unfortunately, it's only right now that small portion of athletes who actually make the national team and who live in Colorado who are getting those advantages. But everybody else, no, it's up to the
Yeah. Okay. We discussed the challenges of good nutrition. What are some solutions? Coach Callinan.
Yeah, I was going to say a big part of it, psychologically, you've got to educate them from a very young age. I think whether children or athletes or people in general are into sports, being healthy needs to be a fundamental belief. And every day I'll pick my kids up from school or whatever, and I listen to other parents, and it's interesting hearing some of the signals that are sent out. And this is going to sound really familiar, right? If you're good, I'll give you a sweet. I'll take you to the shop. We'll get. That's wrong. Like, why would you say that to somebody that you care about? You need to tell them, if you're good, I'll cook you the best dinner ever. That'll be the healthiest thing. Like, why would you say I'll get you a can of Coke or something like that if you're good? You've brainwashed them the wrong way from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I give my kids treats sometimes. Yeah, I'm not like a real stingy guy. Like, don't get me wrong. But I will say to them, look, this is not good for you, but you can have it if you want. But you need to make it clear to them that being good does not mean you get something that's bad for you. It's wrong. So when you transpire into an adult and you end up going and you train hard for a week and you say to yourself, do you know what? I deserve a beer after that. I've trained really hard this week. I deserve that. Maybe that's where it comes from. Maybe you think you deserve it because you were good. So I think the culture and the whatever's in your psychological sort of build up, that's going to translate into how healthy you are. So psychologically, you need to be in the mindset that being healthy is the right choice, and it's what you reward your body with for doing the right thing.
Right. No doubt, Trout. Can you expand on that?
No, absolutely. I'm having the same kind of mind state. Like, now I worked mad hard today. I deserve this pie I'm about to eat. Whereas it's like you're just about to ruin all the work you just did, because it's like the man said, all the sicknesses besides mental sickness starts in the gut. And once I figured that out and realized that, like me and my family, we don't get sick no more for real, because we're more disciplined when we put in our body. We don't even use the microwave much no more, because we're not. I'm afraid of cancer, and that shit's everywhere. And I know that a lot of it is from what we eat and from the cell phones and probably from the microwave too. So, like, I try to cut all that out, because I'm trying to make sure we live a long life, a long, healthy, happy life, and not just a long, sickly life. And, I see that all these people are staying alive, but they're just sick as hell the whole time. Whereas, back in the day, they were nice, strong, and healthy, dying at 50, outside in the yard, I don't know, farming and shit. It might drop dead. I'll take the drop dead at 50 with the healthy, happy life than die at 90, where 40 years of that was just trash. So that's where I've been at, and it's helping. It's working. And before, I know a lot of the guys going up in weight, and that's what's been heard of and seen as of lately. But the reason why I feel like I can make going down at 147 is because as disciplined as I am, I can tighten it up a lot more. And if it doesn't work, like, I'm gonna do the whole scan. I'm gonna see how dense my bones are, and if it is really physically possible to make, before I go down and make that jump. But I think I could do it healthily. I think I could feel strong at it. And if that's not the case, then I'll back to 54 or go to 60. They just as big as the 54 pounders anyway.
Right. So now you're a lot more disciplined than you were back in the day.
Absolutely. The conscious, it's like the truth. Once you find out the truth, it's going to require change. And that's kind of been what I've been going through spiritually, physically, and mentally. I've been finding out a lot of truths, and it's required the change. And the change has been paying off.
Absolute. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Coach Green. Can you hear me, brother? Coach Green.
Yo, I can hear you.
Hey, brother, elaborate on that for me.
Well, solutions. I won't go to Coach Callinan house for Thanksgiving, for Halloween. He probably had no raisins. Solutions. I'm what they call. I'm whole. You know what I mean? There's no Whole Foods on my side. Whole Foods, I was like, and I avoid the organic packages because I look at the price, So I just buy fruits and vegetables, I get to the house, I cook it, I put it on the stove, I watch how much they eat. I like to find things in life. I pay for it. I'm eating all of it, But I watch how much they eat. They don't eat. We carry around water bottles, the reusable ones, you know what I mean? We drink a lot of water now. At first I didn't, and it came from my family. Folks don't live long, and I take it because my mom's from Alabama, my daddy's from Tennessee. They grew up eating the pig from the rooter to the tutor, and they high blood pressure, diabetes, hypertension, all that stuff. You know what I mean? They had all that stuff, and you being a veteran, you would know too. Like, you go in the VA hospital, everybody fat, everybody broke. You know, not only did the military kind of hurt our bodies, you know, but we just get fat and compound on top of that stuff. You know? So now, you know, I'm learning late in life. I'm in my 30s now. I'm learning later in life. Hey, maybe I need to push away from the table a little bit. You know what I mean? Quit snacking so much. You know what I mean? Maybe I don't need this beer for doing the same job I've been doing every week. You know what I mean? Things of that nature. Just getting better at life as a whole. I was just celebrating to be celebrating, you know.
Right.
I guess, you know, but just eating healthier food, drinking more water, being mobile, you know, getting up, moving around and stuff like that, you know.
Okay.
Catching minutes a little bit more, you know. I'm not a super big, but you sweat. So maybe it's exercise, living a boxing lifestyle, and he's having it. And I want to run. All right, let's run. You know, I want to, you know, spar. I want to hit the gym. You know, he's not already a coach. Now he's living the boxing lifestyle. You know, I don't know. I live coach's lifestyle. I got that world-class coach body. You know what I mean? But now I guess I gotta start living, you know,
but you know,
living like that. Eat better, just to be a nigga, making an all-around lifestyle change for everybody.
You know, Coach. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this, man. So did I, man. If you remember me, like a year and a half, 2 years ago, man, I was big, man. I was huge. I was dealing with a whole lot of things, man. You know, I lost my mom, my grandmother the same year in 2013, man. I was drinking. I was doing everything. That was crazy, man. And then I told myself one day, I said, if I'm really gonna be working with people, I gotta look the part. I can't tell nobody to throw 100 jabs and I can't do 100 jabs, or I'm throwing 100 jabs and I barely make that. No, I gotta change my life. So then, you know how everybody be like, oh yeah, you losing weight. I said, no, I'm gonna keep it off. I'm gonna continue to keep it off. And that's what I had to do, man. And I know what you're saying, Terry, man. You can do the same thing, man, because it's rough, man, especially stuff that we went through. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I want to say this to everybody, man. I thank everybody for coming on today, but most importantly, man, I look at each and every one of you guys as my peer. You know, I don't talk to a lot of people when it comes to boxing. One thing I learned from my man King Mo is if you don't know how to talk boxing, I'm not going to talk to you. That's just what it is, straight up. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, you know, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. But before I hop off, I would like everybody to close with something. You know, you can say whatever you want to say, and then also give your social media handles. So ladies going to start first. Coach Peak. Go ahead, Coach.
Well, it was a pleasure talking to everybody today, and especially my man Trout, boy. It's so good. Listen, I need you to call me, okay? Because Shada Jin wants me to have you hook up with him and Willie Monroe. So if you don't have my number, get it from Steve, and definitely give me a call. But it was a pleasure.
We'll do.
I learned a lot from everybody today. I love to learn. You know, I've been learning all my life, and anytime I get the opportunity, you know, to touch base with all the talent that Steve brought on today, it was wonderful. And anybody who wants to reach me, you can reach me at, I have a Facebook page. I also have YouTube and Instagram, and it's Coach Peak. What is it? Coach Peak. .com, I think.
G Peak.
Coach G Peak, yes. Coach G Peak. Thanks, Steve.
No problem. I only know that because I set it up for her.
Yeah.
My wife set it up for her. Sorry about that. King. See how she hating on me? King Mo, what's up, baby? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mo.
I'd like to thank y'all for having me on here with y'all. You know, I learned a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I want to say something to Austin Trout. Keep doing your thing. get a DEXA scan test, DEXA scan, because I was going to cut down to 185. I went and got a DEXA scan test done, and I figured out that it showed my body mass, showed my body composition, and for me to make 185 pounds, I'd be -0. I put like this, at 188 pounds, I'd be at 0% body fat, so I couldn't make 185. So I'm stuck in between, but some people still try without going the scientific way. I feel like you gotta learn, educate, learn trends, because things always change nutrition. Every year, new things pop up. And as athletes and coaches, we should learn these trends to stay ahead of the curve.
Thank you. And it's about $75 to do too.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach Callinan.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's been really interesting and really so much experience in the room. And I think somebody mentioned earlier, it might have been Mo, but it was about it being a lifestyle. It's not about hitting weight once or twice a year. It's about being consistent and not fluctuating, not going up and down like a yo-yo. And we've all seen a number of boxers over the years who are out of shape in between camps. And it's sad to see because it's got big effects later on in their lives. But yeah, really great to speak to all of you. You can reach me through ZBoxer2028 on Instagram. It's my son's account, which I manage. I can only keep up with one account, guys. Seriously, the social media, that's a full-time job on its own. So yeah, thank you very much again for having me.
No problem. We're going to come to the UK, man. We want to go whatever y'all do over there. What y'all throw darts? What y'all do in the UK?
Bowls.
Coach Green.
Hey, thank y'all for having me on. This has been cool. You know, I learned a lot. I got to share some of my experiences. That's cool. You can follow my son at TG3_boxing on Instagram. He's on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. It was cool to hear your voice, Stokes. I talked to some of y'all older cats. It was the first time actually hearing your voice, but I talked to, Milk Gladden and Hector Cruz. So
Really?
it was cool to hear your voice.
Really? This is my
Nice
first time ever?
contact.
Wow.
Huh?
This is your first time ever hearing me talk?
No, on the internet, like actually talking to you. Remember, you got in the Hall of Fame 16. I got in 17.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my bad, man. I'm sorry then, man. Yo, we're going to keep in contact.
Definitely,
man. Without a doubt. Thank you, Coach Green. And to my man in Cleveland. What's up, Coach Jay?
What's going on, Coach?
Nice.
Hey, honestly, man, y'all can follow me at Kingdoms Fitness on Instagram and Facebook. Also, you can follow me at The Mason Brothers, all right? At Kingdoms Fitness or The Mason Brothers. First off, I want to say it's a pleasure again to even be on here talking with Coach P. Man. I appreciate you, King Mo. He showed me mad love when we was down there. Him and Gerald Harris, man.
Yeah.
Real solid dude. When we was in Houston, Tanner was sparring with Austin Trout. I think he was sparring with Austin. I don't know if he was sparring with you, Austin, or you was there while he was sparring, one of the two. But Austin is another real cool dude. My little brother, Montana, Coach Terry, and Coach Callahan, man. I heard you talking that good stuff on the eating clean side. And Coach Stokes, you already know what time it is. You my boy. At Kingdom Fitness, okay? At Kingdom Fitness, make sure y'all check it out, all right, man? Good look. Hey, King Mo, what's up, baby?
Oh, man, I'm going to be in Tulsa. I'm going to go back to Tulsa next month. Get with Alan Green and Gerald again.
I got to get down there. I was supposed to pull up on his comedy show, but we going to hook up for sure. I told Tanner you said what's up, too. He said, yo, yeah, you his boy for sure.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you. I appreciate it. It's Coach Stokes, Stokeshouse Boxing Academy. You got to stay ready so you ain't worry about getting ready. Definitely, I appreciate each and one of you guys just coming in, and ladies. Man, let's do it again. The next one's gonna be gonna be really good. So whoever will be on the next one, just hit me up, let me know, because it's gonna get bigger and better. It's Coach Stokes, and we out.